morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to this Knowledge Congress, CIPI Knowledge Congress. We are running a little late, so we'll not spend too much of time in niceties. And let's start with, the whole theme around which we have designed this seminars or this communication is on modern lifestyle. So with the changing lifestyle, there's been changing in the way one is formulating things. One is there's a lot of change in packaging. And we have to address the concerns that modern lifestyle has brought us to. So I'll not take too much of time, and let me introduce, and we are very, very privileged and honored to have Dr. Yogesh Suradkar. Yogesh Suradkar is the Vice President and the Head of R&D for South Asia, Latin America, and I don't know where all. So, yeah, all the emerging markets. He is a consumer, business, and a people-centric leader. He translates strategy and business requirements into function-specific, tangible results. He has 16 plus years of accomplished research and industry global experience in India, USA, Japan, and Singapore. And he's been working the area of personal care, hair care, skin care, and makeup, makeup segment for the global market. And definitely we are seeing a lot of lives are being transformed with what you're doing. And multicultural, multifunctional teams he's been heading. And let's give it for Dr. Yogesh Suradkar. Please. Yeah. And I'll introduce the two people on the panel, but we will come to the details when we come. They are both speakers. We have Dr. Anish Seth. We have with us with Anul Sareen from Euromonitor. And if you can just take your seat down, we'll be calling them when they are, introducing them formally, when they take the stage to speak to you. Just help with this.
Am I audible? Yeah, good morning. Okay, so thank you, Sheila, and the CIPI organizing team, for letting me talk about modern lifestyles and changing formulations. Okay, so it's a second edition, and looks like this is really very, very important in terms of the consumer shifts. So before moving, it's just a quick snapshot of L'Oreal. L'Oreal was founded by a chemist, Eugene Schuller, in 1909, with the first hair color dye. Okay, and since then, you can see that the dye started in Paris, and now the entire globe is using hair colors. So the famous quote, a single small idea carried forward every day over the period of next so many years can take you to the other side of the world. And that's really the power of small idea, right? In L'Oreal, so the first and foremost is the consumer is really important, and how you can delight the consumer and transform his or her life through disruptive technologies. So really understanding the desired consumer experience, what are their tensions and trade-offs, followed by what are the technology models, really that can tackle the consumer tension or trade-off, and thereby providing the holistic product experience. What we call is not just the juice, but the pack the relevant pack to deliver the perfect mix. And therefore, in these 2 days, you will be also going through and learn moreover on not only the products and the ingredients, but also the packaging side to deliver the perfect mix. So let's understand the consumer first and foremost.
We have changed considerably. We have become new consumers with new convictions, new demands. Who are we today? What do we want for tomorrow? 6 big shifts show the profound upheavals in our values and what makes us tick. In this new digital world, digital me is omnipresent. Millennials spend 4 hours a day on social networks, chatting, staying informed, and shopping, submitting themselves to the gaze of others. Female millennials spend 5 hours a week taking selfies. Net time is the perpetual present. Instantaneity, permanent zapping. 75% of online customers expect an answer within 5 minutes. The new stars are internet influencers. Kylie Cosmetics, a brand unknown less than 2 years ago, is now setting sales records. De-averaging is the expression of my personality, of my singularity. I'm unique. I am what I want to say about myself. I own my culture and my origins. Local, targeted brands already represent 1/3 of the global beauty market. This is the era of mass customization. At the same time, the do-it-yourself phenomenon is growing rapidly. In 2016, 29% of women in the USA and in Europe made their own beauty products. To change myself according to my wishes and my moods. No more taboos. We create our own rules. Feel emotions. Get back to what's real. Have experiences. Awaken your 5 senses. Take time off for yourself. 59% of millennials are more interested in new experiences than new products. Buy a product for the place, for the game, for fun. Rising urbanization, pollution, the ravages of stress and sleep deprivation, fear of chemicals. The list of beauty enemies continues to grow. Since we'll be centenarians, we want to live to the utmost. As a consequence, the beauty market is booming, driven by the success of organic and natural products. More than 50% of American women, 64% of French women, and 78% of Chinese women look for products that are more natural. Protecting yourself against the assaults from the environment and promoting your well-being is becoming a way of life. In this quest for control, there's also the hope that science can harness augmented performance to keep the body eternally young. Aesthetic procedures are commonplace. Today, already 1 Western woman in 5 uses chemical peels or injections. And we've seen nothing yet. Over 10 years, the cost of sequencing the human genome has fallen from $1 million to only $100. What's next? Products customized to our DNA. Everything seems possible, even transhumanism, which fascinates as much as it worries. So what does the new consumer expect from us? Transparency. What was once tolerated due to lack of information is now roundly rejected. We no longer buy a product without knowing its composition and understanding the benefits of each ingredient. We no longer make our choice before consulting other consumers' views. 82% of consumers check products online before buying them. Digital me, de-averaging, all about experience, health imperative, augmented performance, need for transparency. L'Oréal has started and will continue to pick up on these 6 consumer trends to inspire innovations co-created with them and for them.
Okay, and that's a synopsis, I can stop the presentation here itself because, that's a synopsis of my overall talk. And I believe that our partners from Euromonitor or Mintel will definitely agree, to these 6 consumer shifts that we are seeing globally, okay? Because now we are netizens, and that's the reason all these shifts are relevant even for us, okay? And you will soon see that. Okay, so let me start with digital me. I want to project my best self. We are millennials and centennials, in India, right? Soon the average age will be 27 with 60-65% young population, right? So right here, right now, without any fuss. So projecting himself or herself on the social network platform is a key, right? There are the fascinating numbers, number of YouTube videos. The appearance defines my identity. There is a growing interest overall, okay? And they need a quick solution also. The quick response is within 5 minutes of any query through digital medium, okay? What is important is this instant gratification overall, right? And because of their presence and the internet or net time, they don't want to lose off any fear of missing out, right? Any fear of missing out any information, and that's the reason why you can clearly see that kind of addiction towards the digital media. Moreover, it's a lot of convenience, right? And that's the reason e-com is also growing, be it Amazon or Flipkart, right? So at your doorstep, you get whatever you want, as fast as within 2 hours. So, and then lastly, it's the selfie obsession, right? Moreover, we are on Instagram and we are taking selfies to project ourselves, right? So whatever we are within, we really want to project it out. And that's this generation, the millennials and the centennials. So the millennial is largely dependent on the digital media, and thereby centennials will definitely be the first dependent as well. I hope you understand the difference between millennials and centennials, right? Raise your hands, millennials, centennials. Oh yes, baby boomer is also there. So largely, those who are born between 1980 to 1994, 96, we call them, millennials, right? And then afterward, so 1994 or 1996 onwards is the centennials or Gen Z. So before that, millennials is, Gen Y. And these terms are very, very important to know, because that's a target audience, target consumer. And thereby, we need to really customize the product as per their expectations. Because, I belong to Gen X, and there will be some audience which are baby boomers, right, till 1964. Our expectation towards the product, the services are totally different than these Gen Y as well as Gen Z, okay? And thereby, it is really important, we will be the youngest population across the globe to understand their expectations from the beauty industry in totality. So what are the manifestation of these digital, interconnected lives? We are also talking about the smart homes now. So how the entire environment is really interconnected, and thereby our lives are largely driven by offline and online. Moreover, there are advantages and there are disadvantages, but that's how the life of these millennials, as well as centennials is. Insta beauty, Instagram, so self-portrayal and self-expression is very, very important. Digital empowerment for sure, because now earlier we used to trust the word of mouth. My friends like this, my friends suggested me, thereby I need to buy. Now the first thing that you will do is online reviews that you will go through to have the informed purchase. Even though you are in shop, but you still want to try out something through Amazon or Flipkart to understand, or Nykaa, to understand their rating of the product before buying that product. This is again very, very critical, that digital empowerment and predicting me. So L'Oreal launched several apps, Makeup Genius, Modi Face, to have really a customized experience. These are through makeup. So depending on your skin tone, your overall the hair, the skin type, what is the right product for you. And thereby this generation also wants a customized, tailor-made product. And that's the responsibility of the predicting me. Through smart app, that app need to really recommend me the relevant product. Yeah, so this is about the digital me. For our zone, the South Asia, that is my primary responsibility as well, and as a part of emerging market, you can also see this regional relevance. So when searching products or services to buy, the internet plays a large role in decision making, right? We are the first country as the largest Facebook users, if you can see. The smartphone usage is also growing significantly high, around 300 million users that we have, and it will grow significantly, right? So Thailand is much more evolved in South Asia, then Indonesia and India. So you can clearly see that the reviews, online reviews and rating plays so important role in buying the products as an informed choice. Okay. The second part is you can trust what people say online about brands more than others, other sources like your friends. The opinion leaders and the influencers play such a critical role for these youth, millennials as well as centennials, to really make this informed decision. And you can see that this trend will definitely grow. The global trend is 23. Here is also you can see the global trend is 66, and this will grow significantly. India is 39%, and there is a lot of encouragement as influencers, the beauty advisors online, and that's their own career itself, and that is flourishing today. Okay, in this digital media. So having products and services that can anticipate your needs, the importance in personal life, even compared to the global average, the South Asian average is relatively higher, and it will grow significantly high in the coming years as well. So these are the trends that you can see overall in South Asia. So I have customized the presentation. I have global data as well as I have South Asia specific data, and largely you can see that, oh, by the way, this is a yogurt pack, you can clearly see that, but it is a night serum, and talking about the vitamins used in yogurt for the skin benefit and skin whitening and skin rejuvenation. Similarly, what I was talking about is while in shopping you can still go online and review the products. This is for Peripera Airy Ink Velvet. It is in Thailand. Again, kind of velvety effect, through, there are n number, I think 15 shades of liquid lip, through this. So moreover, the ultimate aim is Instagram, right? All these products, because it's an expression. It's so lively, it's so colorful. So not only the performance, what you can see, here is example of Kiss Me, through the bloggers. The bloggers have created this. So thereby there is lot of trust in the users that, oh, because bloggers are recommending me, let me also try and use this product. So overall, it's a playfulness that you can see, not only just about expectation on the long lastingness or the performance, but the entire playfulness. That is one of the experience that this young generation is seeking out through the product. So what are the implications on the formulations? For example, NYX, one of the L'Oreal brand, it's all about makeup expression, self-expressions across eye, lip, and face category. Again, making you Instagrammable, right? So color, L'Oreal is expert in color also, and you can see that the kind of range, the fashion shades that we can talk about is humongous. Visual skincare, again the expression, different types, the appeal. It's not only the performance, but after applying the product, there will be mask also. Here, you can see that the bubble mask, the carbonated mask, again. So it will also, and they are videotaping right from before to after, okay, and showcasing, to the entire world that this is what the experience is about, right? So nobody is shying away now, and they are really immersive enough in sharing their own experiences. On-the-go trend is extremely high, and we have a lot many people traveling abroad as well, and thereby the need of on-the-go product is significantly high. Beauty on demand is also equally important. The Instagram results, as I talk about, and because of the digital devices, the anti-blue light, because there are advantages and disadvantages. So, the blue light protection is also, apart from the external aggressors like pollution, but through digital media, we have the blue light protection, and thereby there is a growing chain that you need to also call out that it is protecting against the blue light, because your on-screen time is really very, very high. So, this will be the implication in terms of the formulation, and you will see it will grow much more. The second consumer shift is de-averaging. So, I want to celebrate the multi-dimensionality and fluidity of who I am, and this is really important, and this is changing the entire dynamics. So, blending cultures worldwide, because we are all netizens and the world becomes so small, you don't have to travel physically as well to really exchange and communicate with people from different ethnicity, background and cultures. And the second part is greater social acceptance, So, the same-sex marriages and the acceptance of that, around 23 countries legalize that, and thereby, challenging the classical ways about gender, age and societal norms. These millennials and centennials are really trying to bend and break down those rules. Okay, and largely it is the uniqueness that I am very, very unique, and what I need is a customized product. Okay, I challenge the usual classical stereotypes. That's how the mentality of these people are, and you can clearly see that do-it-yourself is also growing. India, anyway, the grandmas and dadis and nanis recipes are still famous, right? The kitchen ingredients, you have besan and milk, and you are still applying that. So, right from that to entire developed countries also, the do-it-yourself phenomena is really growing to make it much more unique, for the consumers. Okay. Fluidity, uniqueness. So, if I am in India and if I am traveling abroad, I would like to also try and adopt the ways of those countries as well. So, that is how the fluidity what I am talking about. Okay, so, I am not at all rigid. So, wherever I will go, I will try, learn and adapt to the ways, and thereby the climatic conditions, and thereby I am ready to explore, experiment with any kind of products. Clearly, that will suit my overall lifestyle. Okay, so what will the manifestation of the de-averaging? So, subcultural blending, as I talk about that, the cross-cultural element is quite evident. There are many ingredients, coming into, so argan oil, which is not from India, but you will see a lot of products, talking about argan oil, right? So, we have halal, halal beauty, so which is targeted for Muslim consumers, essentially Indonesia, Malaysia, Middle East, and now it is really targeted, and thereby the celebrating roots. So, going back to the root, in India also, Patanjali really push the Ayurveda, right? Unilever also enhanced the brand Ayush only because of Patanjali's presence. So, the awareness is going back to the root and traditions. So, Ayurveda for Indians, the halal beauty for Muslim consumers. For Chinese, it's a Chinese traditional medicine, and the incorporation of ginseng extract and whatnot. So, it is really important that the consumer, even though evolving, but if you see, they are also going back to the roots. Gender fluidity, as I talk about that, the metrosexual and ubersexual men, are also there, and they are also trying out brows, makeup and whatnot, right? So, it is not only restricted to the gender. So, thereby challenging the stereotypes, right, and the traditions is always done by these millennials. Ageless life stages. Right. So, this is also equally important. Now, there is no social taboo per se, and what they want is also a youthful appearance and youthful radiance irrespective of the age. Okay, Umar Pachpan ki and Dil Bachpan ka, what we say is what, there is no social taboo even for the baby boomers, what I can say. And beyond taboos, So we are freely talking about biological processes like menstruation without any taboo, right? We have film industry also who is talking about that. There is no body shaming per se because people are happy and you have plus size clothing and whatnot. So again, challenging the status quo stereotypes is what is happening through the de-averaging manifestation, and you will have all these relevant products. So in terms of regional relevance, the subcultural aspect, you can clearly see that even our South Asia specific zone, the blending because of the closeness to the traditions and the culture, which we are much more cross cultural, and the acceptance is significantly high in this zone. Okay. What you can see is a few examples. So I can talk about, let's say, Garnier Sakura. So Sakura is a floral extract from Japan, but we are we have these products in Thailand and Indonesia, but the flower is from Japan. So there is a cross cultural. In India, we have launched matcha gel face wash. Okay, so consumer is really trying to buy and gain that. For Unilever, it's the argan oil in their product range. So this is what the cultural piece we are talking about. Aloe vera is now the staple ingredient, moreover, in this part of the world. And Innisfree, again, the Korean brand, and you can see a lot of, I think there are outlets also, they are growing in India. So Delhi and Mumbai, you can see the Innisfree outlet. So moreover, considering the blending of the cross cultures, you can see the plethora of the products along with the ingredients which are exotic for the local consumers, but there is a willingness to try and experiment with that. Okay, this is about preserving your family's cultural traditions. Also, in our case, 63% Thailand versus 67% India and 70% Indonesia. We can see that going back to the roots and really following the traditions is important. Essentially, in Indonesia, the hijab wearing population is growing. Practicing 5 times prayer, which is called as wudu, is also growing significantly. So that's the manifestation of going back to the root and adhering to the culture, and thereby there are products which are specifically targeted for Muslim beauty called halal beauty. Okay. So this is what the Muslim wave I was talking about. Varda is this local brand, which has across the categories product for them. Here the Speedo is also talking about for athletics, mainly targeted for hijabellas. There is a good range of pure line, okay, target toward Muslim beauty. And similarly, basis Ayurveda, we know that Patanjali as well as Ayush, and there are several other brands which talk about the Ayurveda and the importance in the beauty segment. Okay, so what will be the implications of formulations? So growing need for tailor-made and personalization. So India do-it-yourself is anyway there, but it is also growing. In the social network platform, you can see that there are people who are only selling through social network platform a product, a natural product, which is only lasting for a month. So it's a preservative free. So they will say that, okay, just use this, keep it in your fridge, refrigerate it, use it, and that's it. Within a month, you have to finish that. So that trend is growing in the form of do-it-yourself. Unique ingredient stories with cultural appeal, I talk about that. Halal compliance, yes. Ageless life stage. So you have to age gracefully, and you have to decelerate the aging process. That's the ageless life stage. And beauty down below. So this is also critical. So below the belt is the male grooming brand, is essentially targeted for male grooming, right, and your groin area. Similarly, the vaginal beauty is also there. So we will have Dr. Renuka, who will cover that aspect. But these trends are growing, and you can see that it's really breaking the stereotypes. Okay. Third aspect, all about experience. So I want to be inspired and to reconnect with the real world. Now see that we are talking about digitalization, but as a disadvantage, because they are getting away from the real life, the human touch. You can see that the meeting with the friends, day by day it is becoming an event, because you are not meeting them frequently because you are always connected via social network platform. So what is the backlash of constant connectivity? So quitting Facebook has shown to lead to higher levels of both cognitive and defective well-being. Even the younger generation is so addicted, and they cannot live without their phones and iPad even for a minute, right? And thereby you need to really take notice and care of all these aspects, bringing them into real world and giving them this experience, which is human. Okay, so largely you can see that the emotionality element it's very important. The fun element, the joy, and the human touch is extremely important in this digital era. Okay, which can stimulate your senses and emotions. So these are the manifestation of all about the experience. So playful catharsis, so fun for the sake of fun. It is not only the product, but it has to be fun and joy through a lot of colors, the fragrances that you can see. Emotive cultural discovery. It's also very important that what are the how can you drive the 5 senses while you use the product, right? So really enhancing your emotions through human touch. Magical interactions, we are talking about the artificial intelligence, right? So the AR as well as all the digital innovation, they want to really transform themselves. What is the possibility of today versus what he or she can envision about tomorrow, and with the technologically advancement, it is possible. I'll cover that aspect. And mindful reconnection. So this is equally important, that the human touch, what I was talking about, is missing today through the digitalization. So we need to bring back that mindful reconnection as well. So ready to live ultimate experiences. This was clearly, when you want to put money in the next 12 months, whether what you will do. So they are going to put more money in experiencing the once in a lifetime experience. Okay. And you can see versus global trend, all over South Asia, it is growing significantly. Okay, so you can see the number of products that are launched. Can you guess what is this? Any? Crayons, which is for lip, right? Right? Lip Provine. No, it is a sun care product for your face and body. Yeah. How about this? Okay, it's a rubber mask, but see the design overall, shake and shot, Dr. Jart, right? So how about this? Again, the French brand. You have the finger mask, taking care of not only your fingers and your nails. Okay, how about this? Yes, what is it called? Fidget spinner. Okay, but these are lip balms basically, with the different flavors. Lip balms with the different flavors, right? So overall, it is for aromatherapy. Okay, declare. Here, it's again a US brand. Okay, what is it? It's a coffee scrub. Okay, so they are talking about that. So you need to be naked in next 1 minute. Even though you have erythema or everything, you have to immerse yourself in this coffee scrub, and you will see the benefit of that. Okay, so largely, hot and cold, as when you use any product, there are sensorial experiences. On one time, let's say a cleanser, which can feel hotter when you apply, and post you rinse it, it will give you a colder sensation. So all these aspects, and anybody can tell me about this called immersive multisensorial experience? Anybody has this idea? No? Virtual reality, right? So virtual reality, this was in Japan. TeamSpace has organized this. Okay, and they have created this virtual reality experience for the consumers for French brand L'Occitane in Japan, okay, Shinjuku district, so that the people, the consumers can really smell those fragrances. And there are all these, the flowers and then the plants are surrounded. So they are immersed, and that's why it is immersive experience. They are immersed in that world, and they are really, enjoying that fragrance, which is part of that bottle of L'Occitane. Okay, this is what the immersive experience we are talking about. So lot of things are happening. How about this, by the way? Anish? Soap. Can you imagine? These are the soap. For ear, for eyes, they are so different, and there is a, altogether different textures. So entire, all about experience. The slide indicates all about experience. It has to be fun. It has to be a joy. Okay. So overall, this place, because we are far away from reality, we are going far away from reality because of the digital world, and thereby bringing back to the real world and having a human touch and really evoking your five senses is critical aspect, and thereby these are the overall fun-filled aspect, okay, of the product. Fourth, health imperative, very, very critical. I want to feel safe, protected, and well in body and mind. That's a wellness aspect, what we are talking about, right? So growing impact of environmental change. Yes, the entire climate control, we are also suffering, right? The rain god, oh my God, lot of floods and everything, right? So we have the hot climatic conditions, the global warming, right? So around 150,000 people will have died of heat-related causes by 2021. That was the prediction because of the global warming and climatic change. The preventing and personalized health and wellness industry is also growing, because earlier we used to talk about health. Today it is all about well-being, right? The entire body, mind, and the context which we are living in, the entire connection of that, the context, the mind, and the body, and that's how the wellness is, and the wellness industry is, right, from spiritualism to yoga, right, and whatnot, right? So clearly what we are talking about is the protection from the climatic conditions or the external aggressors, right, from pollution to UV. Then there is longevity aspect, the holistic well-being, essentially the connection between mind and body. This is important. So what will be the manifestation of the health imperative? Okay, so the active me, healthy me is what we talk about as a holistic balance, right? So you might have learned from the Qi therapy, right? What we see, the Chinese one. So the entire connection with yourself, basically, and how to balance your mind and body with respect to the environment. Environmental protection with the external aggressors, right? Pollution, heat, and you have UV. Mental vitality. We talk about the depression through addiction, of the devices, right? And thereby the mental vitality and your growing your cognitive skills is equally important to tackle the addiction of digital devices and symbiotic living. And this is growing significantly high, because the nature and the importance of nature and the connection between a human being and nature and the symbiotic association that we have together is growing, right? We are seeing that, okay, no plastic. Modi government will announce that, right? 2nd October, 6 single-use plastic ban, right? So again, taking care of nature and environment is equally important, and that's a manifestation of health imperative we will talk about. Okay, so I'll just keep this slide. Okay, these are the products what we talk about. Not only protection from environment to the natural ingredients, we have Ayurveda based by Patanjali. Snail White is a snail extract, that is used. It's a Korean brand and largely popular in Thailand for your whitening benefit, instant whitening benefit. Okay, you have aloe vera, which is 99%, and again in Thailand. So those are the brands which are really talking about. So safe and gentle, in terms of mass medical, okay, because you need to really see whether the raw materials we are using are safe and gentle. The chemophobia is there in consumers' mind, even though we have few products which are called as natural, but they are using only natural extract at a MOT level, wherein rest of the formulation is all synthetic, right? So people are also growing awareness that, oh, they are calling it natural, but they are not in a way 100% natural, thereby calling it out how much natural you are. Here it is 99% aloe vera, is very, very important, rather than calling that, oh, we are natural herbal brand. Okay, implications on formulation, performing naturality. So naturality just for the sake of naturality will not be accepted by these millennials and centennials. They have to see the performance, and the instant gratification, instant effect is very, very important. Protection from external aggressors. So, right from pollution to UV. So, my UV patch, L'Oreal has introduced that a couple of years back for the brand La Roche-Posay. So, it indicates that whether you are protected or not through the UV, because the photo degradation of the sunscreen happens very quick, and we are sitting in a hot and humid climatic conditions. So, even there are several brands which talks about SPF 30, 50, 100. When we test, they are not at all into that range, and SPF 50 or 100 can be only SPF 5 when we test internally with the protocol, with the right. So, they are also fooling the people, and thereby the protection, the sun protection factor. And the second aspect is there is always a PA 2+, 3+, 4+, which talks about long UVA. Largely apart from SPF, the long UVA protection, which which accelerate your aging, you have to really protect from them. So thereby we need to also launch few products which are really protecting you with the longevity in terms of sun protection factor, with a high dosage of sunscreen filters, but also the long UVA, that PA 3+ to 4+. There is this brand in US, ERI. I don't know, Anish, whether you know that. This is targeted for wellness, and they have the entire range for all the activities, athleticism and whatever you do for your wellness, considering the aromatherapy also, for your emotional well-being. So there are certain brands, and then aromatherapy is there. So beauty is health, okay, which is very, very important, and holistic experience has to be provided in a real sense, not fooling the people, but in a real sense. 5, augmented performance. I want to harness the power of science and technology to look and feel as perfect as possible. Okay, so we always talk about cost of human genome sequencing, from $1 million US to 99 USD. So entire genome aspect, and I was talking with Anish also that it is the system is getting perfected, okay, but you can see that it was so expensive earlier, your DNA mapping, and thereby delivering customized beauty products is possible, and the trend will also grow, and thereby the cost of this will also reduce sequentially. Digital beauty ideals, 24 billion selfies, yes, you can see that, and moreover the regenerative cosmetic, the plastic surgery. So I think we will have a talk by Dr. Amit, right, who is a dermat. So he will also talk much more on this aspect. So leveraging the power of science, so you have 3D printing, you have DNA mapping, you have artificial intelligence. All these will be responsible to try to make you perfect the way you are envisioning yourself. So it is no longer a science fiction, but it may turn into a reality. Okay. So the manifestations are transformative perfection, through lot of cosmetic surgeries, hyper personalized solution, natural safe regeneration, and quest for eternity. And this is what I was talking about, that it will be possible. It will no longer be only science fiction, but it will be a reality, making you really perfect the way you are trying to be. So ultra efficacy is critical. If you have vitamin C, 20%, 30% dose of vitamin C, that is possible. You have peel off the glycolic acid with a high concentration from 1 to 10% is available. So these are the ultra efficacy products. You can see that the single use, these are the boosters. single-use boosters that you can have as part of your regime to really tackle your skin concerns. Medicare and mass medical is also growing, equally the cosmeceutical. The interesting part is this ingestible beauty, right? Food and supplements. So beauty for food, for that. This segment is also growing significantly. And beauty devices. So what is this? It's a LED light mask, basically. Okay, so it has LED, and thereby it can have anti-acne or anti-imperfection benefits. Similarly, these are the regenerative cosmetic devices, and there are at-home procedures also as a form of do-it-yourself. So you don't have to go to the dermat, but you can still use those injections at home in a safest manner. The last is need for transparency. So I want to trust and be able to believe the brands I use, and this is largely due to the VUCA world that we live in, because a lot of scams. There is a lot of distrust with the government. For this region. There are many scams are happening. The manufacturers are also not trustworthy. You see ASCII and lot of advertisement. ASCII is blocking and challenging, right? Because it indicates that the manufacturers are not conveying the true message to the consumer, and thereby the consumer is really looking for really trustworthy brand that they can associate with. You have certain apps like this is Clean Beauty in Europe. So you can clearly go through the back of the pack ingredient list, and you can see that whether this raw material or ingredient is safe for use, what are the harmful effects for a person and as well as for environment. So thereby it is an informed choice that the consumer is making. So lot of this need for transparency requirement is there by these millennials and centennials, because it is not only care for them but also care for the environment. And Anish will talk about the clean beauty aspect, right? And you will see that lot of manifestation that he can talk about. So these are overall chemical free, the chemophobia, the hypertruth, essentialism, activism. So moreover the environmental friendliness, so the single use plastic bottle you will not see after 2nd of October, right? The one it is kept on the table. So those are the manifestation also that we need to incorporate the biodegradable material through the cosmetic products, so that it will not damage the environment and the future generations will be secured through this. So entire manifestation is seeing is believing, and thereby a lot of things, the online reviews they are checking before buying this product. They want to see the entire life cycle of that manufacturer, how the product is being made, not only the juice, also the pack. So thereby the plastic free will be the new trend as well. New sources of trust. So beyond your friend circle, they are also looking for opinion leaders and influencers to get the right the right information, so that they can trust the brand, and corporate accountability. This is what caring for people and caring for environment all about. Okay, so overall implications of formulations is you need to have clean beauty with no nasties, right? So the preservative, parabens, those are having impact on the environment. It should be free from that. Environmental friendly, sustainable, renewal. So lesser the plastic. Today the short term application will be you reduce the plastic, and then after a few years it will be plastic free packaging as well. Authentic and transparent. So for example, this brand has listed all the ingredients with their percentage, right? We have the order at the back of the pack without any percentage. So Belief is a brand which is having all the ingredients and what is the percentage of that ingredient, and minimalistic will be the last one. Again, reduce the pack, single monodose usage, and a very clean formulation, not beyond 7 or 8 ingredients to give you the desired efficacy and delivery. So in a nutshell, what I talk is this 6 consumer shift, and these are really targeted for millennials and centennials, and the entire day is line up with the speakers and who will be covering each of these aspects in detail. Okay, but this is all about my take. on the lifestyle, modern lifestyle and changing formulations. Thank you so much for your attention. Please, questions.
One question. Gender neutral. Do you think formulations will go gender neutral?
So, agender is what the society that I was talking about, right? The gender fluidity, but then agender, breaking the stereotype, and that's how we will have to also consider the formulation to talk about and to take care of this agender society. Because I covered the millennials and centennials, and you will see much more centennials will be agender, agenders. So, no male, no female, no transgender. That's why it is agender, and lot of formulation will also come in a holistic way to cater to this agender society.
One more thing is Nutri-Cosmetics that I did see something. Do you really see this panning out?
So, I talk about the overall the clean formulation as a first step, right? So, safer for my skin, safer for the environment. There is nothing better than the food ingredient, right, in the cosmetic industry. So, there is this, you can say the trust that yes, if it is Nutri cosmetics, it will be much more safer for me as well as for the environment. But on top of that, it is very important that the efficacy and the performance should not be sacrificed. So, we will have to see how the product through Nutri Cosmetics can prove the instant gratification that is desired by these young millennials and centennials. If you can't deliver through Nutri Cosmetics this aspect, it will be very tough for them to trust and use on a regular basis.
Any question?
How are the regulators looking into these Nutri-Cosmetics and all these things?
Well, it is much more evident in REACH in Europe, for example, and we always follow. At least it's a lag of 2 years, right, for India to follow the BIS norms. But the vegan and non-vegan, I talk about the halal. So similarly, the Nutri Cosmetics will also be taking into consider, but I think it will take a lot of time for us to reach to that stage and implement versus Europe. No, nutraceutical is there, but still, you know, what you are seeing.
So there are certain collagen drinks and stuff on the market which are considered as nutraceuticals. So I think from a regulatory point of view, we still have to go through the FSSAI versus the FDA. FSSAI.
Yeah, but you are talking about much more topical than ingestible, you know, because this is ingestible because of the food related. Her question was more or topical, but then Europe will be launching that first, and then we will follow through BIS, which is a time lag, you know, at least for 2 years.
Hello, I'm from a scientific background. So I wanted to ask something about yogurt, which you pointed out. So how do you use it in cosmetics, and what are the benefits? What are the regulations? And
Okay, since your technical background, are you aware of microbiomes?
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? There is a flora on your face.
Yeah.
There is a good flora and there is a bad flora, similar to our gut, right? And thereby taking care of that. So you have a lot of cleansers with harsh chemicals which can destroy that flora, and it takes a lot of time to regenerate, right? That's the reason why because for the gut, this yogurt probiotic and prebiotic concept is very, very evident, and it is experiential. That's the reason considering that aspect for the topical application, and again depending on the company, right? Because L'Oreal, we don't have the animal extract in our formulation, but there are other companies who can still try that pro and prebiotic concept for the topical application. Okay, similar to the snail white I talk about, you know, for the instant brightening benefit, right? So there are snail extract.
So L'Oreal doesn't have any products with probiotics and prebiotics?
Normally, you know, that's a criteria that we have. There is a lot of research happening on the microbiome aspect, but you know, having the live culture in the product is what we are still not clear. No.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dr. Kriti. I'm taking care of formulation development in Dabur Research. So we are working on a lot of exotic plants. Like for example, you pointed out that a flower is available in Japan but commercialized in Indonesia and somewhere else. So still there is a lot of, there are a lot of concerns regarding an exotic herb coming into the Indian scenario and then getting commercialized in Indian aspects. So how are you catering to that?
So in that case, there is a exoticness and then there is a relevance.
Yeah.
You have to marry both through the product,
Yeah.
right? So it's a blend or the combination that you need to put, which is more relevant extract, and on top of that, that exotic extract, so that there is then the awareness and he or she can experience through the product use, and then you can talk about only about the exotic extract. If you are talking about it is like alienated for them, and they may not have the reason to believe that something is coming from somewhere, and why should I use that, because I have my own natural extract and we have a very good ecosystem, right, in India. But that's how the matcha gel extract, for example, so we could, the yuzu lemon, Garnier is always having yuzu lemon. You can clearly see that light complete, Garnier light complete with the yuzu lemon. It is Japanese lemon with a vitamin C, which is much more than any other lemon species. So how you are really talking and communicating to the consumer. This is very important, but give the first blend or mix of what is relevant and exotic rather than trying something exotic directly.
Thank you.
The emotional connect, for the reason to believe is very important.
I think, any more questions?
Yeah, hi. I'm Sridhar from Big Basket.
Hi.
How do you balance natural with instant gratification?
So, one thing is very clear, that if you are using only natural, it may not have the instant efficacy. There will be a time, let's say 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it can take. And thereby you cannot call it as a natural. You assign some percentage of naturality, but you need to have actives which are synthetic and with a potency that is already given. So you may call it 95% natural, but you have remaining 5% which is synthetic, but they will still accept it. Vis-a-vis, you have 0.01% natural neem extract and you are calling it all natural and herbal formulation. You see the difference, right? Because consumer is aware of that, right? So you are open and transparent in calling that out, that we are not 100% natural, we are 95%, but we have these chemical ingredients which are safe, but they can give you efficacy instantly.
And there's one more question. You talked about looking perfect and then retaining traditional values. They don't sound like oxymorons actually?
No. So do you think that using the Ayurvedic product you cannot look?
No, but you're talking about using plastic surgery as this one.
Correct. So that's again, it depends on, I talk about the millennials and centennials, right? What are the consumer habits and practices? So if you see, if I just compare South Asia, Thailand is much more advanced. The Botox and the plastic surgery are evident much more. I think Dr. Amit will also talk about the prevalence, and in India it is also growing. You just ask the cosmetologists or dermatologists, there are also consumers going for this usual plastic surgery or at least Botox. But on one hand, because that's a very instant, right? Versus whatever the cultural roots that we are talking about, which are considered as safe, but it will take its own time. There is a balance that the consumer will have to maintain. All consumers will not go for the this cosmetic surgeries, right? Because there will be a very few segment who want to do that, but majority of the population will still stay with the cultural roots.
Thank you.
So, am I audible? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I think that was a wonderful keynote presentation, and let's give it up for Dr. Suratkar.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And he has really set the tone for the 2 days of deliberations, where we are going to be talking on various aspects of modern lifestyle and the impact it has on cosmetic formulations and packaging, of course, tomorrow. one second, I just have to give you a little gift as a token.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.